Hi everybody, I'm Jamie, I'm the head of 5V Video and I'm here today at the OTT Question Time hosted by VOD Professionals with my colleagues from 5V Media. Let's go see what it's all about. Right, I'm here with Charlie from Samsung. Charlie, I just want to find out, obviously it's been quite a busy morning, early afternoon here. What's the most valuable bit of content that you've taken away from the event so far?
I think I really enjoyed, there was a session that Justin from Skylark did about UX and how you design your apps and interfaces within the different sort of TV platforms. I think that's been really interesting because it's only when you look at everything side by side that you realise a lot of these platforms and aggregators kind of look a little bit similar. So when you're going into one of these content portals for the first time, you think, okay, I kind of know how to browse through that.
Instead of getting lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I think a lot of us at some point will get a little bit fatigued with searching for something if there's not something immediately served to us. Or I think part of that seems to come down to maybe the dullness of some of the design. And I think if you can keep people within your ecosystem and do interesting things with that user journey, maybe you make people more loyal to your product ultimately.
I think, everybody talks about content is king, but the user experience and sometimes how aesthetically pleasing it can be and to move around that platform is also a big factor. I'm here with Greg from Crossroad Media. Greg, how have you found the event today and what's the most valuable bit of content that you've taken away from it so far?
So it's been really interesting. I mean, I work in the personalization space. There's an awful lot of people here talking about personalization. I think it is really interesting to watch everybody look at multiple windows for being able to sell content, figuring out what goes in what window, and then most importantly, how to drive people into those windows. And so, yeah, we look at it from a personalization space, but it's been really interesting not only to look at it from our perspective, but also to see people saying, well, wait a minute, how do I find the 6, 7 different windows to put content into? How do I make money out of it? How does the whole ecosystem work? And how have the experiences in the last couple of years changed a lot?
Absolutely. Obviously, personalization is a big part of all the streaming platforms.
It is
a
for
big
us.
part of retention for people. What do you think the customers are looking at the most?
Well, I think one of the biggest problems is, depending on the number of services you have, nobody has time to waste, right? So everybody's fighting for the same amount of attention, and increasingly there's more and more things that take up that attention. So it might be video, it might be gaming, it might be TikTok, a million other things. And so making sure that when someone takes the time to invest in looking at your service for the first time, you've got to make sure you deliver what matters.
I'm here with Sabrina and Felipe. It's been a really exciting day of guest speakers. What is the most valuable thing you have taken away from today?
I think that fast is like the new trend for sure, and that it's like a lot of things that's gonna change for 2023.
I think, like Sabrina said, I think there is a wide world of opportunities, new business models to grasp, to try, to experiment, and definitely here we've got a lot of experts of each of those, which give us quite a lot of inspiration.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of talk about content trends and how everything's going to be shaped up in 2023, from personalization to fast. What are your thoughts? What's going to be the hot topic in our world for 2023?
Fast is definitely the hot topic for 2023 and beyond. I think quite a lot of all the other AVOD platforms need to be watched and experienced.
Absolutely, and we saw a lot of discussions about fitness and well-being brought to the consumer home as well. What are your thoughts on that move?
After the pandemic, people are getting more into conscious into your health and well-being. We realized that also because we represent some of the well-being channels, and I think it was really interesting to see how a Universal use their content and create an app and use their social media, etc., to promote it. And yes, I think it's definitely something that we need to have a look into it.
Yeah, it's definitely a growing passion for a lot of people, men, women, of all ages, of all demos. So it's clearly something to watch clearly, carefully about.
I'm here with Natalie. Natalie, thank you very much for joining me. What's probably the most valuable message you've taken away from today's speakers?
Well, I think this is where it's been so well curated. The focus has been about the consumer experience of the content, which I think is extremely important, and shifting into this next generation of experience, which I think we're at. So things like personalization, things like UX design and how you navigate through a service have been absolutely front and center of today. And I have to say that is a wonderful thing to experience, and I've really enjoyed listening to those sessions.
Absolutely. I guess the topic that Skylark took on UI, UX, and how the aesthetically pleasing journey is important to retaining people as well. I found that quite interesting.
Well, it's true, because one of the key things in this highly competitive environment for content and share of time is share of attention and engagement, and you can't do that if the experience is boring or it's going to take you away from something. So we are really now in a phase where, with multiple devices available and content running across lots of different platforms, the UX experience is now going to be front and center.
Absolutely. Everybody's journey is different and outstanding at the same time. And I guess your journey in video streaming has been quite extensive as well, right?
I'm one of the veterans. I started with 4OD and then what was then Project Kangaroo and Hulu and various other projects. So I've been around a while, and it feels like we're now on the cusp of this next kind of era where it's going to be driven by very different factors, and the consumer is now squarely at the center and will be even more at the center of design. So very exciting times.